So Milind, we got all this data from this pay buddy case. Should we just take a look at the data? What is there in it?
Sure.
Because it's a extremely rich data set, right?
It is a very it has lots and lots of fields,
transaction data,
transactions, and lots of fields in each transaction.
Yeah, it's similar to, in some sense, the e-commerce thing,
Yes.
but only thing is that was recording only the sale.
Correct.
Here it's recording the transaction actually.
Correct.
Actual payment transaction.
Correct.
What the instrument they use.
Correct. Correct.
So let's go through it, I think.
Okay. So I think initially let's look at two key databases or two key pieces of data that they have given us. The first one is a sheet that records details about a customer. Okay. So each customer has a customer ID, and they seem to be storing a zip code. Zip code, I think, is the US equivalent of the Indian PIN code. Right? So they're storing the zip code of where the person stays. So the location where the person is staying, is he staying in a middle class locality? Is he staying in a relatively poor locality? Is he staying in a well-off locality? And I guess that gives them some clues about how much credit to offer to the person and so on. The second thing is how many months has this customer or this account been active for PayBuddy? So is it a relatively new account? Is it an old account? So on and so forth. The third thing is how much has this person spent on credit cards in the last 12 months?
Okay.
And also, how much
total
is
expenditure or this total purchases
made on credit card? This is in dollar value, I think.
Total purchase, $542 worth of
$542 this person has spent on credit card. And $25,741 this person has spent on debit cards.
So you can see clearly there's some other person down there who has 51 months of this thing.
Correct.
$20,000 on credit card
cards.
and 2,400 on debit card.
Absolutely.
So this person seems more like a credit card type. That person seems more like a debit card type.
Yes.
So,
and the way to see that is actually to see what percentage of the cards that the person has in his wallet are debit cards versus credit cards. Okay. So you can store multiple cards in your payment.
This is a percentage. Oh, okay. 92% of the cards.
Correct.
Percentage of the cards were.
So if the person had 25 cards stored in his wallet, only 2 were credit cards.
That fellow with 51 months of thing has 16% only
are debit cards. So he maybe
many
has
more
like
credit
only
cards.
one debit card and
has five
probably
credit
5 credit cards.
So that's another indicator.
Okay.
Yeah. Who has more credit cards versus debit
Correct.
cards? Okay.
And how many premium cards does this person have?
Okay.
Which means, these credit cards come in these categories, right? Silver, gold, platinum and so on. So platinum and above, how many does he have? And again, the 51.
Presumably you have more credit cards.
Correct.
You'll have more platinum cards. Something.
Correct.
Okay.
So the 51 month old guy has 4 premium cards. What is even more interesting is actually the guy above, right? So he's been with us for 36 months.
And has 8.
He is predominantly a credit card user.
He's got a lot of credit cards.
Only 15% of his cards are debit cards. And 8 premium cards he has. So clearly this person is probably a well-off person, right?
And if you see next to it, it says low. That is churn.
Engagement segment.
Low churn.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So they have categorized.
He's low engagement. So he's not spending a lot of.
Oh, it's low engagement.
It's low engagement.
Oh, low is bad.
Low is bad. So he's potentially a good customer, but he's not spending too much time on your shopping site.
Because, okay. Oh, I see. PayBuddy. He's not using PayBuddy.
He's not using PayBuddy too much.
I see.
Probably he's.
But the transaction volume is also very low.
And that is why it is low. That is why his engagement is low.
Yeah, okay. That is how they determined whether
Correct.
it's low.
Correct.
Okay. How did they determine they're going to about to churn and all? Okay. They figured
that I don't know. They figured out somehow. I think I remember Mahesh saying that if the person has not used his card for X number of months.
Oh, that's how, yeah.
Something like that.
So about to churn basically means that they have not used their card for some time.
For a while, so it's possible that they
So
have.
it starts with about to churn, then it comes low. Low
No.
means
Low is higher than about to churn. So high means the person is using PayBuddy all the time. Medium means somewhat he's using. Low means he's
low
using
usage.
but very infrequently.
And about to churn.
About to churn means he has not used for a while.
At all for a while. That's what I'm saying. Low is higher than about to churn.
Correct.
In terms of
Correct.
ranking.
Correct.
All right. I get it. No, so let us see. So this is the data set.
This is the data set. This is raw data. This is giving us data about,
this is about a
customers.
customer.
Okay.
Okay.
The other data that they have given us is data about transactions. Okay. So each transaction has a unique transaction ID. It tells us who is the customer who made this transaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this 17 to 89. So if you go here, this is the person who has made this transaction. This is our friend who has been with us for 18 months. But it's largely a debit card.
Debit card guy.
Okay. So what did our friend buy? He bought some fashion item. So this, if you remember in our FabMart case, we had called this as lifestyle. Here they are calling it fashion. On 17th of March 2021 at some time, I can't see what time it's 12 in the afternoon. This person seems to have bought some fashion item
from using the mobile device.
Using his mobile. And the way he paid was he used PayBuddy, Pay Later.
Oh, okay. He used that product.
Okay. And he spent, the value of the transaction was $117.
So this is transaction data.
This is transaction data.
That is customer data.
So now if we want to do any interesting analysis, I think we will have to keep looking at these two databases all the time, no?
Don't know what to do. Let's keep.
Be messy.
Can you bring them all in one sheet?
We'll try and merge them. Yes. Let me do one thing. Let's create a new sheet.
You have to just pull some fields, columns.
Yeah, we can do VLOOKUP, na?
Lookup and then bring those columns into.
We'll bring those columns. Now here, what do we need? We need now the data from
transaction,
customer details.
Oh, you have put the transaction.
Okay. I've put the transaction. Now we'll put the customer details. So what do we want? We'll just first
zip code sort of. We're not using it.
No, we might use it. So let's not. We'll get it. I think all of it we can get.
Oh, he said we can't use. Anyway, it's alright.
Okay, let's get it. Yeah, I know there are some legal issues in using it, but so now we will do VLOOKUP. And what do we want to do? This is
customer ID.
We want to look up customer ID. In what table? We want to look it up in. And this I will have to put dollars.
Which column? Zip code is column.
Zip code is column 2.
False.
False. Did I get it right? 24132.
Yeah.
24132. That is correct. Okay, this worked. And now here we want column
3.
Actually, what I should have done was, we always want to look up A, right? Because always we are looking at customer ID, but now we don't want to look up zip code. We want to look up something else, right?
Yeah.
Let me do one thing. No longer 3, this will be 4. 5. 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now we've got, what shall we call this? We'll call this merged data. So all the data that Venkat has given us is now there in this sheet. Now
let's cut and slice and slice it.
Let's do that.
I want to find out what instrument people are using for various things.
Let's try and do something even more interesting to you. So for a given instrument, let's just select this whole thing and insert pivot table.
Okay.
What we'll say is for a given funding instrument, what is the minimum account age and what is the maximum account age? What is the minimum time that this person has been with us? What is the average time that people have been with us? And what is the average maximum time that people have been?
What you're saying is that somebody who has been with us for a small amount of time, what instrument the person uses? Basically, what are the kind of instrument that person uses compared to?
Correct.
So you're saying by different categories based on age of the account.
Yes.
Can you determine the type of instrument? Okay, let's do that. So you're putting type A. What's it called? Account age.
Account age, no? It is called. This account age in months.
So let's put account age in months in the row.
So what are we saying here? What we are saying is that a debit card user on an average has been with us for 12.68 months.
Oh, you directly did like okay.
A net banking user has, and I'll tell you why I did it like this. A net banking user has been with us for 8.1 months on an average. A PayBuddy co-branded card user has been with us for 30 months. Credit card, PayBuddy credit card user has been with us for 45 months. Pay later user has been with us only for 10 months. Wallet user has been with us for 12 months. That's it. Okay, so we'll remove.
So what it looks like is that people who have been with us for a longer number of months are using credit card.
Correct.
Smaller number of months are using net banking.
Correct. And
or debit card.
And if we want some more insight into this, let's do the same thing, but let's also look at, instead of, let's look at min. Oh, sorry.
That will be more interesting. Min and max.
Right.
Both we should look at,
So GV, we have the account average account age, but I think it will also be interesting to look at the min and the max in terms of account
ages. The range.
So
not just the average, we want to know the range.
So one of the things we can do is we can just pull this account age once again here. But now if you see what it's doing is, for debit card, it's giving us 2 columns. Instead, I would like to have this as rows.
Yeah.
So what I do is the sigma values field, if I just drag it here, I will now get it as rows. And now I can set the field value here as min. So now you can see that on an let me just do it once again and set the field value as max. So if you look at this, what this is telling you is that for debit cards, the average account age in months was 12.68, but the min account age was 1 month, and the max account age is 24 months.
Okay, so that for credit cards?
So now, for net banking, it's not very different, but if you look at a PayBuddy co-branded card, okay, you'll see that the minimum account age is 18 months. Maximum is 42 months. The average is 18
credit card minimum is even higher.
For credit card, the minimum, absolutely.
32 to 60.
32 to 60.
So you see, actually there is no overlap between debit card, which is 1 to 24 range,
Yes.
And the credit card range is
Correct.
3260.
Correct.
So it looks like somebody who's been in the pay buddy system for a longer period of time
Tends to use
credit cards.
A new customer is using
Debit
debit cards or net banking.
Initially, they start with net banking and debit card. Slowly, with confidence,
they move to credit products.
That seems to be what's happening. Okay.
Now let's look at what the pay later guys are doing.
Pay
later guys are all 2 to 20 months sort of account age.
It looks like a debit card customer.
Correct.
So debit card customer is also a pay buddy customer. Pay later customer.
Looks like.
Huh?
Looks like. So probably what's happening, and we should talk to Venkat about this, is pay buddy pay later replacing debit cards?
Or augmenting, adding.
Augmenting. Maybe we should discuss this.
We should find out more about it. Yeah. But definitely not. Doesn't look like it's a credit card user. Is not.
No. Not a target, perhaps.
For pay later. Makes sense, no? Because credit card is like pay later.
Correct. Okay.
Ah.
Now the other thing that we can do is we can look at how much this person has spent on credit cards and debit cards. Okay. So
how much is spent, Milind?
So we have this. Yeah, we have the sum of 12 month.
Then what is it? What are you asking me? Oh, okay. Oh no. What is it?
So we know for each individual customer how much has he spent on credit cards in the last 12 months and how much he has spent on debit cards. And we can look at the average of this.
Over all those people who are using credit card now.
Who are using this. So if I am a debit card user, what is my average spend on debit cards
in the last
versus what is my average credit spend on?
This is like conditional probability.
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct.
For debit, for a guy, so similar to this. You're saying basically for a debit card user.
Yes.
You find out that debit card users
average
credit card spend should be low, and average debit card spend should be high.
Correct.
And a credit card user's average debit card spend should be low. We're expecting. We don't know.
That is correct. So you can see this, right? So if you look at the debit card.
So you're saying people who spent on debit cards in the last 12 months,
on an average, have spent $17,000 on debit cards, and have spent only $1,700 roughly on
credit card.
On the other hand, people who have spent.
So somebody who's been using a debit card in the past will use debit card now. What you're saying?
Possibly.
Somebody who's been using credit cards in the past 12 months, mostly credit card in the past 12 months, is likely to pull out his credit card now.
Possibly. Because that is what he's used to.
That's what he's doing.
Right?
That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that makes sense.
Okay. And then we want to know what percentage of the cards in the person's
his premium card
are debit cards.
Okay, that too, yeah.
First.
That is already given, no?
No, but we have to average it, no?
Oh, that is for one person.
For one person.
Saying, average it or all the people
people who use debit cards.
Okay. Yeah, sure, yeah. Why not?
Right?
Yeah, let's do it, yeah.
So you can see that a debit card user on an average has 67% of the cards in his wallet are debit cards. While if it's a credit card user, only 17% is.
Now you can do the same thing for premium cards.
Let's do it. Again, you don't want.
Not average. See? So what you're saying is the guy debit card user on average has only
two premium cards,
whereas a credit card user on average has 4.5. Yeah. Good. And this is good studies. Yeah, very good studies. Yeah.
Okay. What's next?
Can we do by this thing, category of product?
What would you like to know? Average
we want to know the transaction.
Average transaction value.
We want to know by category. Electronics, are they using credit card or debit card?
that.
For travel, they're using electronic or debit card. I mean, credit card, debit card. What are they using?
Okay.
So make it pivot table with row as category and column is instrument.
So first, what do you want? You want
Row as category.
row is
What is it called?
Was it called? What was it called? Merchant type.
Okay.
Merchant segment. And funding instrument.
Yeah, it's a column. Yes. And some transaction or something you can take.
You want count.
Count.
Or you want average of transaction value?
Average of transaction value.
Huh?
Yeah, average of transaction value will be nice.
Actually, first let's just do count.
Okay, let's
Count
do
of transaction.
Let's do count. Yeah, let's do count. So it's saying of 483.
So of the 5,000 transactions that we were given,
Okay,
roughly,
altogether,
483 were on electronics.
Electronics, okay.
Hmm?
Of that 483?
Of the 483, 140 were using pay buddy, pay later.
Nice.
Hmm?
So electronics category, pay buddy, pay later is the preferred choice.
Seems to be quite popular. I'm just trying to see how to.
Fashion is even more, huh? Fashion is 944 on 120.
Correct.
But travel, what is the third one? Others, whatever that is.
Others is, we don't know what it is.
Travel is 31 on 1723, small.
Website services seems to be another big one.
So travel and others, whatever that others is, people don't seem to want pay buddy.
Correct.
Whereas
pantry, people are using, pantry. People are using pay buddy, pay later for pantry also.
Interesting. Yeah.
So you can see that this is credit card, no? Yeah. So people predominantly use credit card for travel.
Looks like that.
Huh?
They're using travel, they're using credit card.
I think it has something to do with points. Huh?
Maybe points, maybe also because when you need to travel is not when you may have the money.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So you want to travel during vacation period.
Correct.
That time you may not
have the money.
Yes. You use credit card and
Absolutely.
then you pay over a period of time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Something like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Nice.
This is nice.
Now, the second thing we can do is we can see how people decided to buy. Did they buy from their phone? Did they buy from the website? How did they access? So let's try and look at that.
So the device.
Yes. Again, let's.
Same columns. So I mean, so what is the assumption? The thing is that you'll use more credit card on your laptop, and you're likely to use more phone on the.
Possibly, right? So you
wallet
probably want to use something that is very convenient on your phone. What was that called? Device, right? Device. Yeah. And this was called instrument. And then count of transaction. Okay, let me remove blanks.
What does it say?
Let me close this.
Debit.
So when you at a POS, you basically use co-branded cards. POS is when you actually go to the store and swipe your card.
Point of sale. Yeah.
So that makes sense. Make this column a little smaller so that it's easier to read.
Correct. So pay later is 13. So mostly mobile phone thingy. Can you see that? 1363 out of 1829
Yeah, that is true.
is actually mobile phone.
Correct. Actually,
And
the other
POS
way of looking at
POS
it
is all co-branded.
huh.
And web is kind of a smattering. It's got
Yes.
everything.
So the other way of looking at it, GV, is that of the 2,200 transactions that were done on the phone, almost 1,400 were done using pay later.
Ah. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
So on the phone, it is usually impulse purchases, no? I think
Maybe.
no?
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe.
So
Okay.
this is some interesting.
Okay. I think this is something. It gives us some view of the data.
Yes.
And now what are we supposed to do with this data?
Maybe the other one we can look at is in terms of engagement segment.
Ah.
Huh?
That is interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another one that we
Maybe
can
the credit card person is more engaged. We don't know. Let's find out.
Correct.
Maybe pay later guy is engaged. Huh?
Yeah. Let's find out.
So the row will be engagement segment.
The rows will be engagement segment and
Okay.
the columns will be funding instrument.
Okay.
So about 2,000 people are in the medium engagement segment. Okay, let's first look at that. About 1,000 are low, about 800 are high, and almost 950 are about to churn.
Okay, let's take the high first. So there are 800 high engagement customers.
Correct.
How are they engaged?
Most of the times they are using credit.
That is the expectation we also had.
Correct.
That makes a lot of sense. Now take the person who is about to churn, 951.
Okay.
He's all pay later. Man, the guy is in trouble. We should tell Venkat that his product is in trouble.
Or maybe what they are saying is, if you are about to churn, if I give you this product, you will stay back on my website.
They are saying we don't have evidence yet of that conversion. We don't have evidence. Otherwise, you just read this plain reading of this data will say that pay later is about to churn.
So
you're saying that they are targeting this person.
They are targeting the people who are about to churn. I don't know. We should ask him.
We should ask him. What about low?
Lows.
1022 again the same thing. Pay later. Again same thing. You might be targeting or it may be, I don't know what it is. Medium is all over the place.
All over.
Okay, which also makes sense. So okay, so two insights, right? One is high is credit card, and low and
me about to churn are pay later.